Bloody hell, look at the state of it. I cleaned inside some of my cupboards yesterday. That's my next one. Kiki says I've been saying for 2 years I'm going to clear that up, but she forgets I do clear it up, but then it gets messy again. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I have kicked the corona to the... Oh, Market's looking so bad. Well, hopefully it will just make people feel better. We've got a messy house. So come and say a quick hello. He's going to go and
Hello.
because he's been editing.
I hope you're all very well. It's nice to see you. You've got a cracking story coming from Ned. I've never heard it
Mark's
before.
never heard this story before that I'm going to tell you today. All about when I was in EastEnders, my first wild night out at EastEnders. It's very cringe. But yeah, so don't usually do coffee moaning on a Sunday, but I've missed you guys because I've been so incapacitated with the Rona. Don't be scared of it. It is just like a really bad cold. It was a really bad cold. It was really horrible, but it was no worse than a bad cold.
For you.
We've just forgotten what a bad cold feels like. Actually, every single person that I've spoken to that's had the Omicron has said it was just like a really bad cold. I know for some of you it's been worse than that, but I think for the majority of people, if you don't have extra conditions, that's what it feels like. So good morning. How are you all? Lovely to see you. What is it like where you are? It is so grey and miserable out. It really is, but it's kind of cozy as well. It's quite nice because the girls are out and it's just me and Mark here and the dogs are all groomed. Chi-Chi, come and show them yourself. Chi-Chi. Oh no, she's asleep. She had tripe this morning. Tripe is the single most perfect food for a dog's gut. Did you know that? Raw tripe. Now, thank God I've lost my taste and smell just for today because the stench of it. So I wouldn't advise buying it unless you've got a very strong stomach because it stinks. But they are so happy after tripe. Does anybody actually eat? Has anybody here ever eaten tripe? Come on, convince me. Does anybody like tripe? Oh, you're in LA. It's been quite warm in LA. Who's that? Who is that? Javier. Oh, it's warm in LA for Javier. I'd love to be in LA. I'm just dying to go anywhere. I tell you what, I've really missed my mum and dad. I haven't seen them for so long now because of the Rona being around. I just didn't want to be around them. But hopefully I'm going to see them on Tuesday because I want to leave a few days after being negative for a few days before I see them. Let's everyone give Carol Moore a big hug. She's in agony with sciatica. You poor thing. Send you a big hug. I've had that before and it's torture. Elsa Pop, I'm totally addicted to selling Sunset on Netflix. Well, you see, we were with the first series. We were so excited about the second series. And then I found the second series, they were just a bit too fake. They were a bit too aware of the camera. I'll tell you what me and Mark started watching last night. Two things. One, Chloe, because loads of you said we should watch it. So we're going to review that because it was really good. I liked it. And the other one we watched last night was Love is Blind, the second series. Oh, it was good. Is anybody watching that? Yeah, yoga with Adrienne. I really recommend that if you, she does a sciatica one, doesn't she? Yeah. Did anyone try my yoga teacher's free yoga today? For beginners, she was handing out a free lesson today. Honestly, get hooked to yoga, guys. It just changes your life. Love It is Blind, Japan. It's so cute, says Reem. In Japan? Oh, cute. Laura S. baked some scones yesterday for the first time. Let me give you my tips on scones. Take me years to be able to do a good scone. First of all, do not overwork the dough. None of this sort of business. You just pull it together and you just gently roll it. And I always leave it as thick as I want the scone and then it raises a bit more. So I actually cut the pastry that thick And this was a tip I got from Mary Berry, is that when you put the cutter into the scone, don't turn it, don't do that, just cut and lift. Who'd know? But it makes a big difference. Apparently the turning bit does something to it that stops them from rising. God, who would know? But anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to do a bit of clearing up today. I want to clear up that today because I've done over there. It's all really nice. Cleaned all the sides, did all the covers. Huh?
Just let them know the Sunday show is coming.
Sunday's show is up today, later, because Mark's still editing it. Sunday's show in the family guest area. Everything's back to normal now. We're both feeling better. If you want to join the members area, guys, it's just a little box under here that you just press, and it's 37 pence a week for extra content. So I'm going to do my cleaning, and then I'm going to try and get Mark to just chill out with me on the sofa and watch the rest of Love is Blind. Love is Blind. Thank you. Sally O'Sullivan says it's worth every penny of the 37 pence. And we have made this commitment that we will never increase the price. Now, the content we give on there, most other YouTubers do charge about 20, 25 quid. And people are always saying to us, oh, you should charge more than that. It's a lot of work. And we're just like, no, we don't want to, because it's really affordable for everybody. And we just want to keep it that way. We just want to keep it that way. So, right. So, I just thought I'd get your fun stories, well, maybe sad stories as well, on, you got to stick around for my pissed story, my first EastEnders, out of the EastEnders lot, drunk story. But first of all, we're going to talk about good and bad ways to get dumped. So, this is off the back of a story that I just read. This happened in New Zealand yesterday. Now, you know there's big... did you see the way I went into a New Zealand accent there? That was so strange. There's big demonstrations out there, isn't there, against mandatory vaccines. And this woman yesterday dumped her husband, they'd been married a long time, on the news because he'd had a COVID vaccine. And she said, I'm sorry, it's over, but it's just because I genuinely do think he's going to die. Which is very strange. I'm going to dump you because I think you're going to die. I don't think I've ever heard anything quite. You did it live on the news. No, on the news. Yeah. I said to Mark, what's the best and worst way you've been dumped? He said, well, I've never been dumped. And I said, oh my God, it was so weird when you think that he it's really suffered with jealousy and all of that sort of stuff, but he's never actually been dumped. Definitely not by text, for sure. Mind you, you say that. Would I prefer when I was younger to be dumped by text? I think it'd be very awkward to be dumped in person. Don't know, have to think about that. But anyway, I thought, oh my God, could anything be worse? Because I think the, you know, when people get proposed to on the telly, I always think that's awful. I always think people are a bit nervous that the person's going to say no, so they just do it in front of loads of people. But to be dumped on TV, I know, Faith Goodman, that's so funny you say that. So the New Zealand government, imagine how Barry Manilow feels at the moment. The New Zealand government have been blasting Barry Manilow to try and disperse the crowd. Oh, Elizabeth Taylor, welcome to the family guest area. You will now get a family guest welcome song, as every new family guest member does. Welcome, Elizabeth Taylor. Welcome, Elizabeth Taylor. I'm doing my, what's it? My Fair Lady. Welcome, Elizabeth Taylor. Welcome, Elizabeth Taylor. Welcome, Elizabeth Taylor, to the welcome area of the VIP family guest area. The whole point is the song shit. Just in case anyone was worrying. I know, poor Barry Manilow. But you know, I know quite a lot of people that have interviewed him, and they say he's the most self-deprecating, not defecating, most self-deprecating, lovable, down-to-earth guy. He's probably laughed about it. I'd still love Barry Manilow. Somebody there saying I used to love him. Natasha Milchin used to love him. I still love him because he needs me. I know that I have to be careful. We could get done. We could get done for stealing music by YouTube. Janine Donnelly, don't apologise for being late. It's lovely you're here now. Karen Silva didn't get her welcome song. Karen Silva, welcome to the family guest area. Karen Silva. Natasha is now backpedaling. She's saying, well, I've not listened to him for a while, but I do love him. We'll let you off, Natasha. Natasha Tiramos, member for 24 months. And what a wonderful member you've been. 24 months. That means you get your photograph now from me and Mark. It's a bit of a weird photograph. I'm a bit like this. Oh, Kim Lacadis has done a 6-kilometre walk. Oh, dying to walk. Oh, that's so funny. Jill Dyer says that James Blunt has told the government to play his music to disperse crowds. Carol Gowdy, Carol Gowdy, welcome to the family guest area. Carol Gowdy, Carol Gowdy, Carol Gowdy. That was my opera. Salsa Trish, been a member for 26 months. Welcome, everybody. So, dumped and dumping stories. So, I don't know if I've told you. Have I told you the story of when I had to dump my sister's boyfriend for her, Dina? Just say yes or no. Do you know the story of when I had to dump my sister's boyfriend for her so that I don't repeat myself? Because I think this was a pretty horrible dumping. Yes. No. If there's more no's than yeses, I'll tell it. But if there's more yeses than no's, there's a few yeses. I think there's more no's. Okay. Claude would love to hear it again. So I think there's more no's, so I'll tell it. Because I do think this is an awful, awful dumping story. So we were away on holiday in Jordan. My sister, Dina, had a bit of a romance. A bit of a holiday romance. And... you know, they came back and it was the classic. They were writing letters back and forth. And, God, I always worry if he was ever to see this. It would be so awful. Suddenly I should be telling this story. Oh my God. Anyway, and he was always saying, oh, you know, one day I will come to London. I will see you, all of this. Anyway, one day he does. He turns up and... he rings my sister and says, I'm here and I'm coming over. And we think she still quite likes him up to this point. And we're waiting the hour, the minute, you know, for the arrival. And then she says to me, takes me upstairs and says, I can't do it. So what do you mean you can't do it? She goes, I can't see him. I've gone off him. I've got the ick. I was like, what are you going to say to me? She goes, I can't say anything to him. You're going to have to tell him. She must have been about 17, I don't know. So I was like 15. I was like, what? He's flown thousands of miles and he's on the doorstep, literally. She goes, I can't do it. You'll have to do it. Can you believe I did it? Morning, Erin. Don't be worried to be late. It's lovely to have you here. I actually did it. And I had to go down. I had to answer the door. Oh, my sweet Jesus. I can't exactly remember what it was I said to him. But I basically had to tell him that it wasn't going to happen. Oh, my God. And do you know what he did? He handed me a long box like this and he says, okay, I accept it, but can you give her this? And it was a long box like that. I was like, for a minute, I thought, oh my God, it's bloody diamonds. And I opened it. Well, I took it up to her, opened it up, and it was the most beautiful bracelet, quite chunky silver, in filigree hearts that were just like all filigreed into each other. Oh my God. And I was like, oh, Tina, look. Oh my God, but don't you love him now? Oh my God, he's so lovely. He was so sweet. He was really upset. His eyes filled with tears. And she went, you can have it. But that's the brutality of youth, isn't it? Because until you've had your heart broken, you don't really know what it's like. You don't. I mean, years later, of course, when her heart had been broken, she was like mortified. She goes, oh my God, when I think what I did to that poor boy. But it's that brutality. I see it sometimes with my girls when it's like, oh no, once they've got the ick, they've got the ick. You know, it's over. Oh, ick. Elias, Nadia, I was dumped by telephone in the old days by his friend. Oh no, well actually, Elias, actually that reminds me because there was one time Mark was dumped. He was going to university, had this really nice girl, and then he thought they were going to stay together through uni, and she met this really nice rugby player. And she called him, and as he said, I was dumped by the pips. You know, when it used to go beep, 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 beep. So he was just being dumped as the pips. Because that was quite handy in those days. You could just take 2p, couldn't you? Was it 2p's to put in them? Excuse me. Was it 2p's to put in the post in the money box? Yeah. So you could say, oh, I'm just running out of money. Ali Watts, we all did this for our sisters. I had 3. We did it for each other. Did you? 2p. Thank you, Lisa Roberts. 10p. I think that was later on. It was 10p. Oh, I'm so glad that was quite a done thing, was it? Oh, God. Liz Ritchie, I was never dumped. Always did the dumping. Mark says that he always dumped people with a really long and involved conversation. I said, I don't think I'd like that. I mean, going back to our conversation last week when we were talking about when you've been dumped, the way to deal with it. I think short, sharp shock. I think just get on with it. Don't drag it out. Because I think if you spend too long going, you know, and I love you, but I'm just not in love with you anymore, and yeah, I want to be friends and all of that, all the time, you are giving that person hope. And then when you're giving them hope, you're giving yourself a right nightmare. We were so brutal when we were younger. Tracy Lynham, I dumped a guy with a message in a Valentine's card. The brutality of youth. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't like you anymore. Tracy, stop. I got dumped by my ex when he was drunk because I wouldn't marry him. Oh my God, so he asked you to marry him while he was drunk. You said no, and so he dumped you. God, what a swerve. Honestly, you've got to watch Love is Blind. The first episode, was it second episode? Oh my God, to see a gaslighting, stroppy man in full action, behaving like a 4-year-old, it was just joyous to see. Helen Duncan, member for 26 months. Oh, you got your photo, because when you've been 24 months, did you like it? It's a bit... By the way, weeks ago in the members area, somebody won a personalised video from me and Mark, and they didn't claim it. So if that was you, make sure you do. I got dumped the day after my mother threw me out, and then she dated my best friend a month later, Erin Bullimore. Oh no! Oh, that's the worst thing, isn't it? I've had friends that's happened with. The person has dumped them, then they've gone out with a friend. Oh, Jackie Valino, when they say it's not you, it's me. I think the best answer to that is, yeah, it is. What a cock. Or what a vag. Whatever it may be, whatever your leaning may be. Kevin Harper, women always told me I was too nice for relationships. They just wanted a physical one instead. Kevin. Oh my God, I am so glad that you've brought up that sentence. That I think this is This is because women are still, not all, but so many women are still addicted to toxic masculinity. Don't change yourself. Change the women you look at, or the women that you go for. Watch Love is Blind, Kevin. Honestly, it's so good because these people have to marry each other, having not seen each other. They both sit in these pods and they have to talk. And so all that toxic masculinity, all that like nonsense that women are just, not all women, some women are just without even knowing, just manipulated into thinking they want. I mean, when a woman says, "You're too nice for me," you've got to feel really, really like sad for that woman, because that's something that is so toxic. That is so toxic. If someone is too nice to you, that's toxic in you, because you feel like you need somebody that's horrible to you. I mean, just think about that. And if you turn that around in your head, Kevin, and just go, "Oh, that makes me really sad that that woman doesn't feel like she's worth somebody being nice to her," it won't be so painful for you. And you've got to choose somebody that wants somebody nice. Like I always say, I think we choose what we want. I really believe we choose what we want. Like when people say to me, "Oh God, I keep choosing love avoidance, or people that don't want to commit," I always go, "Why? Why didn't you choose someone that does want to commit?" And it really annoys people, and they go, "Well, it's not my fault." No, it is. If you keep choosing somebody that doesn't want to commit to you, maybe deep down you don't want to commit. And maybe if you keep choosing people that don't like nice people and you're a nice person, maybe there's something like in you that is wanting that sort of punishment. There are lots of really nice people that want to be treated nicely. And there are lots of really nice people that don't know yet how to be vulnerable and how to let the person in, and thinks that by somebody playing games with them and being mean to them and like keeping them on their toes is love. It's not. It's anxiety. And anxiety causes this, which can be confused as like love or passion, but actually it's fucking anxiety if somebody's horrible to you. Antonio, one of my boyfriends only wanted me to marry me for a British passport. I've got a lovely hubby now, though. He's already got a British passport. Well, I'm glad you discovered that. Mark's just dumped me. And give me a good reason why I'm being dumped. Come on then. Give me one good reason. And you're supposed to be having a power nap to do the next bit of editing and not looking at screens to rest your eyes so you don't get a headache. Oh my God, sorry. Need to slurp. My throat gets really dry talking. Okay, so that was good. I love having just these silly chats about nothing. This is just, oh God. I looked at the news, it was Cressida Dick, it was the footballer again, it was just Boris and Carys. I was just like, do you know what, I'm just had enough of it. Anyway, let's move on to cringe nights. Now, I'm sorry, but I loved Adele the other night. She went to Heaven nightclub, which if you're not in London, you might not know about it. It's like the gay club. I used to go there every Tuesday night. When I was a teen and young and in my 20s, I would go there every Tuesday night and I would have a ball. Oh my God, I would get drunk. And it's just such a brilliant atmosphere there, and it's just so free, and it's just, to be a mega star like that and to just let your hair down is just so important, I think, to just stay real to yourself. And she did that, and there's so few people, Jennifer Lawrence was with her as well. So few famous people now will do that for fear of how they look or how they're seen or how they're perceived. And she was just out having a great night. She was pole dancing. She was just, I just loved it. I loved it. I mean, I like, my favourite place to go if I'm going out and if I was having a bit of dance, is like a shitty little club. like, you know, where it's just like everyone's just like really just like vibing and dancing and just doesn't give a shit and just can get pissed and dance with people. And I love that. I love that. Like, I just, you know, because it is weird when you're off the telly, people do look at you and people do take photos of stuff. But when you go, like when I used to travel around a lot doing presenting, and we used to go to different, you know, different cities all over the country, and we'd go, oh, let's just go and find like a bit of a grimy old club and just have a bit of a dance. And I loved it, and it really reminded me, not that Heaven is Grimy, it's a very fashionable club, but I just I just watching her just getting down and just not giving a fuck, and I just thought, oh, brilliant. But boy, she must have been hungover the next day. Did you see my friend Lee's post on Twitter? It's really funny. So I thought we could say a few of our most cringe nights and next morning. So I'm going to tell you my story about my first time. Mark says I've never told it to him. I might have told it to you in a members area when we did a members live. Maybe I have. But it was the first time that I ever went out with the EastEnders crowd. I think I might have told this in the members area, so please forgive me if you've heard this story. And I'd been there quite a while, and they're when you first go there, they're quite sort of closed off because they don't really trust people. There was a lot of stories being sold on people and all that, and so I totally got it. So it was quite difficult to get in with people. So I was quite on the outskirts for a bit, which was really strange for me because all my as an actress, you know, I would be like right in the middle of everything, make friends straight away, you know, all this sort of stuff. And I felt a bit like left out. It was quite hard at the beginning on EastEnders, a bit like, especially because it was telly and I'd only really done theatre and stuff before. And so anyway, Martine and a few of them were like, oh, do you want to come out with us tonight? And I was like, God, I've been invited on a night out with the EastEnders lot. Because I'd been a massive EastEnders fan before I'd gone in there. So it was a bit like, oh my God, I'm going out with all the EastEnders lot. It was literally like that. And anyway, so we went to this Mexican restaurant. And I was a bit nervous, and I was drinking. I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. And I felt a bit out of it. I felt a bit uncool. I felt like my clothes weren't really very good. I felt a bit like a sort of hippie theatre actress rather than a TV actress, hope story actress, you know. Anyway, so in this Mexican restaurant, and then and because like with this full table of EastEnders, you know, they brought out these tray of free drinks. So I'm not used to this at all. And oh, has it gone blurry? Hang on. Can you see me? Bye, Kevin. Do I need to change over? Blurry, not blurry. It's a bit blurry. Hang on, let me change over. Okay, one sec. Blurry. No, incredibly blurry, they're all saying. Okay, I'm just going to change over. Oh, has it got a bit better now? Much better, okay. So, they bring out this tray of, right, and nobody else wants tequila. And so I had my first tequila shot. I was like, God, this is lovely. I never had tequila before. Long story short, I had the whole tray, right? You can imagine how pissed I was with a whole tray of tequilas. So then we come out. I didn't really realise I was pissed. I did my classic, came out to the top of the stairs. The air hit me, and suddenly I was really drunk. And there was paparazzi outside, and I did my classic, which is when a photo is taken. I put my leg up like that, and because I had a skirt on, I kicked up the other side of my leg, went flying up in the air, and fell all the way down the stairs. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. So I'm absolutely blind drunk with a couple of people, I think my makeup artist and somebody else that was there. And they dropped me off at the house where I'm living, rented house, and my boyfriend is asleep in the house. He's been out, absolutely levered himself. I'm banging on the window. He can't hear me, can't hear me, can't hear me. So then I climb over the wall, the back wall, rip my legs to pieces, tear my very expensive shoes because I've tried to look all shushy and foofy for my first night out with EastEnders, fall over the other side of the wall. I'm hammering on the back door. He still doesn't hear me. I have to climb back over the wall, come round to the front, and the house had a for sale sign in the lawn. This is the power of tequila, right? I rip the for sale sign out of the grass with my bare hands, right? Pick it up, run towards the window, smash the for sale sign like pointy siding. I mean, can you imagine the superhuman strength? There's no way I could have done that without the fuel of tequila. Smash it through the window. I think, oh, I'm going to get in. But it's one of those windows with just little panes of glass like that. So all I've got is the for sale sign stuck like that, sticking out. Oh my God, it was so horrendous. So then I had to go home with these people that I didn't know because I literally couldn't get into the house. Anyway, came back the next morning, you wouldn't believe it. He was still out for the count. Yep. And the for sale sign is sticking out of the window. Oh, well, I can't tell you. I have never since or before ever had a hangover like that. I was on that, I was really wild before I had kids. I was bad. I was on that sofa for a week. It was the only time in my life, I was saying to Mark this morning that I think I had depression. It was so bad. I was like this. I had alcoholic poisoning. I could have died. I mean, I really could have died. All the different areas of danger that I put myself in. I could have lost my job. I could have lost my life. Oh my God. And I didn't drink tequila for 20 years after that. Oh, I could still get the cringe. Now I'll have tequila, but I won't ever have more than 2. Be warned, kids. That walk of shame the next morning back up to that house with that for sale sign sticking out the window and all the neighbours. Oh, because of course they'd heard me hammering on the door, hammering on the wall, climbing over the wall, falling over the lawn. Oh my God, so embarrassing. Oh my God, and when I had to go back to EastEnders like a week later, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get sacked. Because, you know, people did used to get sacked for being too unruly. But I mean, I wasn't unruly. I mean, actually, when I was with all of them, all I did was fall down the stairs and shame myself in front of the paparazzi. But really, I shamed myself with my neighbours trying to put a for sale sign through the window because that was going to get me into the house somehow. Anyway, that was very shameful. Nobody mentioned it, Faith. Nobody mentioned it. Thank God I had a week off, because if I'd had filming the next day, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I wouldn't have been able to remember my lines. Oh my God, and then I would have been sacked and it would have been so awful. Natasha Tiramos, when I had tequila over lockdown, I had too much and felt so ill. Thankfully I was home, but it's horrendous. It is so horrendous. Never overdo the tequila, guys. Now, having said that, tequila, you know my gut lady that I follow, she says the only 2 drinks that are pure enough to drink are tequila and champagne. But only excellent tequila. But of course, only 1 or 2 shots because they don't have any shit in them. Oh, Hazel Melbourne, been there, worn the T-shirt. Oh. I don't know anything about these comments of Kevin, so I can't answer any of the questions about them. I'm afraid. Oh, Sambuca is the same, Lucy Williams. Zoe, you didn't. How much tequila did you have? Zoe, I felt bad. I wanted to send you a happy birthday message, but I was ill and I was just like, so I hope it was a good one. Did you have a lot, Zoe? Well, Zoe, this is the thing to remember. If you feel very dark later, know that it is the tequila, because that's the thing about it. Oh God, yeah, Faith, Jennifer on Real Housewives of New Journey, when she literally went, I mean, we shouldn't laugh because it is awful, but she was flat on her face. I am not in any way glamorizing tequila here, guys. I'm warning you about tequila. Oh, you've had an amazing week. Oh, I'm so pleased, Zoe. Oh, I'm really chuffed. Vicky Edwards went out last night drinking pictures, but I'm sure there was no alcohol in them. I didn't even... Oh, I hate those pictures. My advice is never, ever buy them. Because either they put cheap alcohol in or they don't put alcohol. I think they're the biggest con. They really are. Yeah, it could have been an episode of EastEnders, James. Oh, God. Flat on her face, yeah. Raw Housewives of New Jersey. Oh, my God, I've got to go. Oh, my God, it's 12:10. I've got to go because I've got a meeting on Zoom now with Lisa, who's going to be recording Lisa Loves for today's No Name Sunday show. So I've got to go. I'm late. I'm late. So the No Name Sunday show will be up later, guys. I won't be doing my dad, but I am doing Lisa by Zoom. So she will be there. And we've got some funky things to show you. And got some nice dishes that I managed actually to film before I got ill. So that'll all be on the No Name Sunday show in the members area later. So new members that just joined, you'll see the No Name Sunday show this afternoon. But also, we've got a whole back catalogue of them. Over 100 shows, so you can sit and binge watch the lot. Love you all. See you tomorrow for Coffee Moaning.